Good morning, children. Today I have a story to tell you. Okay, are you ready? Once upon a time, there was a king who lived in a beautiful palace, so white and clean that it sparkled in the sun. And inside the palace, everything and everyone was spotless and pure and perfect. And one day, there was a knock on the palace door. The palace guard opened the huge door, and there stood a poor beggar in his dirty old rags, shivering with cold. "Please, kind sir, can I see the king?" The king heard the beggar, and he came to the door. "What do you want?" the king asked. "Oh, your majesty," the beggar cried, "please let me in to share the warmth and comfort of your presence." As the king looked out the doors, he saw that the weather had turned bitterly cold, and this poor beggar would certainly die if he couldn't enter. The king felt very sorry for the beggar, and he would have given anything to allow this desperate beggar to enter. But he replied, "I'm sorry, I cannot. For you see, you are not clean, and the law says that nothing unclean may enter this palace. So if you want to enter, you have to do two things. First, you must remove your filthy rags." "Oh, your majesty, I would gladly do that because my clothes, they are so smelly and dirty." "And second, you must put on clean clothes in order to enter because this place is holy." And the beggar's heart fell when he heard those words. "I have no clean clothes, your majesty, and I have no money to get any clean clothes." The beggar knew that he couldn't do anything to change his condition, so he bowed his head, he turned and walked sadly away from the palace, knowing that he would surely not survive in the cold winter, when suddenly his eyes caught an unbelievable sight. There, outside the palace, standing on the frozen ground, was the king's only son, the prince. "What are you doing here?" the beggar cried. As he watched in amazement, the son slowly removed his clean, pure clothes, and he gave them to the beggar. And the beggar asked, "Do I need to pay you for these beautiful clothes?" And the son said, "No, it's free." The beggar quickly put on the new white clothes, and he jumped up the steps of the palace in excitement. And he went into the palace, his heart filled with joy, knowing that he won't die in the cold. He has been saved from death, and now he can enjoy living in the palace and even having the king as company. The beggar saw the king, and he ran up to him. He can't wait to tell him about how he got the new clothes. "Oh, your majesty, I've got this new pair of clothes. Look, I'm clean now. And the wonderful thing is that this is free. Now I can come and live in your palace. Where's the prince that I may thank him?" And the king looked at the beggar with tears in his eyes. "My son is outside the palace in the cold winter. Your new clothes may be free to you, but it has cost my son his life. You see, he took your place so that you may have new clothes and live in this palace." Children, God is the king. You and I, we are the beggars. We have filthy, dirty rags, which is our sins in our hearts, and we couldn't do anything of our own for us to get in heaven and be with God. There is nothing we can do to make us holy in God's sight because we are so sinful. So God gave His Son Jesus to die for our sins. And just like the prince who took off his pure clothes and exchanged it with the beggar for filthy rags, Jesus took our sins and exchanged it for something clean, His righteousness, so that we can live with God eternally. It cost us nothing, but it has cost Jesus His life. He suffered and died on the cross for us so that we can be right and clean before God and may enter His kingdom and be called His child. Isn't that wonderful? I hope you enjoyed the story, and you can get your mommy and daddy to explain a little bit more if you don't understand. I'll see you again. Bye.